Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. It takes place over 4 centuries after a deadly virus wiped out most of the Earth's population. 5 million survivors remain living in a dystopian city-state called Bregna that's walled off and heavily defended from the encroaching nature. 400 years ago, a genius scientist named Goodchild developed a cure for the virus, but his family have ruled Bregna with an iron fist ever since. The current leader of the family, Trevor, is said to monitor everything from a dirigible called the Relical that floats above the city. Although Bregna's a utopia compared to the rest of the world, the citizens routinely disappear and are plagued by nightmarish memories of things that never even happened to them. An underground movement of rebels called the Monacans have emerged to challenge the Goodchild's regime with skilled warriors like Æon Flux. Her introductions to catch a fly between her eyelashes as a demonstration of the assassin's abilities before leaving to visit her sister. Yuna's close to Æon, though she doesn't support the resistance and instead is just a law-abiding citizen intent on avoiding trouble. After giving her the slip, Æon obtains a pill from an associate that when ingested gives her the telepathic ability to be able to communicate with the handler. She gives her an order to destroy a Goodchild surveillance facility, so at night under the cover of darkness Æon makes her way inside, stealthily taking out each of the guards along the way. She repels inside the building where she sees that her interaction with Yuna was recorded, so Æon sabotages the machine and goes to check on her. She's already been mistaken for a Monacan and executed by the Goodchilds, leaving behind a grieving husband Claudius who's dragged away for interrogation. Without any family left, Æon dedicates her entire life to her mission and one day receives the order she's been waiting for to assassinate Trevor. After being implanted with a map of the Goodchild's stronghold and meeting up with a Monacan with hand-feet named Sithandra, they enter through the frontier gardens where the natural security system fires self-guided darts at the intruders who split up to avoid them. Sithandra leaps up into the trees and takes them out while Æon distracts the plants crawling around on all fours to remain closer to the ground. After them they leap across garden beds to avoid the razor grass planted between them until Æon almost falls face first into some but is saved by her partner. The lookout waits outside as Æon uses the handler's directions to make her way through the confusing citadel, dropping multi-purpose breadcrumbs. As she's taking out all of the guards on the way to his office, Trevor's in the middle of a heated council meeting with the world's greatest scientists. His brother Oren's shown to be the real problem as he simply wants to eradicate the rebellion to continue living the same way that they do now. Trevor, on the other hand, knows that the system in place is barbaric but believes that it's necessary just until he's able to finish experimenting. When he's preparing for his upcoming public appearance, Æon gets the drop on Trevor, but he names her as Catherine, giving her visions of them kissing and getting her captured. She wakes up in a cell where Trevor doesn't explain the familiar visions and instead just walks away, leaving her with some water. Rolling back her eyeball to expose a microscope, she finds a chemical in the water and instead of drinking it takes a sample to run tests on later. The metal discs that she planted activate, turning into ball bearings that roll through the citadel until reaching the wall of her cell and exploding. The fugitive escapes and finds Claudius still alive but working inside the citadel gardens trying to help Trevor solve the population's nightmare problem. He doesn't help Æon test the water, so she does it herself by drinking it and being exposed to more visions of her and Trevor. She returns to confront the Goodchild on why she has feelings for him but doesn't get real answers and instead just ends up sleeping with him. When she wakes up, Æon strangles the already sleeping Trevor unconscious before getting dressed and stumbling upon his hidden office. Inside's a device that attaches to her chest and transports her physically to his secret laboratory where she sees an unrecognizable photo of herself. When she returns to the office, Æon uses the device again to narrowly avoid quills fired by the Citadel security guard Freya. She appears behind her for a backstab, but Freya's ready for it and the two are transported together to the lab. While tangled up, Æon manages to tear off Freya's lobe with her teeth before they collapse into the office and both retrieve their weapons. Æon then leaps out of the room and escapes the compound instead of continuing to fight, so Freya returns to report her failure to Trevor. Meanwhile, it's revealed that the assassination attempt on Trevor was orchestrated by his own brother by giving the map to the Monacans. He shows the council proof of a relationship between his brother and Æon to declare him a traitor and assume power over Bregna. Sithandra arrives mad that Æon came out without killing Trevor and tries to arrest her, but Æon attempts to convince her to help her investigation instead. The Monacan refuses and the pair fight until Sithandra retreats into the bushes above them just to be yanked back down by Æon with a vine. Not wanting to harm her friend, she just leaves her restrained while ascending the tallest tower in Bregna to get answers. Her gun's not able to reach the relical, so she leaps off the tower and snags one of the blimp's ribbontails in order to break inside and find answers. The old keeper who monitors everything in the city reveals to his guest that her sister Yuna was recycled and assigned a new identity. She visits the address where her sister resides but finds that she's just a newborn baby with eyes exactly the same. Trevor's trailing behind at the relical and discovers that all of Yuna's batch of test subjects were labeled as Monacans by his brother. He visits the address of her new family and tells Æon that everyone in Bregna is cloned when they die and that the nightmares are partial memories of their previous lives. The cure to the virus made all of humanity infertile, so Trevor cloned everyone in experiments in an attempt to reverse the side effect. The population's DNA stored in the relical in Una was Trevor's first successful subject, with her being pregnant when she was killed. Oren also executed the other members of the fertile experimental group in order to keep the dynasty of Goodchild clones in power, and now has Claudius killed for helping Æon. Meanwhile, Sithandra escapes the water where Æon dumped her by scratching a capsule hidden under her skin, releasing the chemical that allows communication with the handler. She declares Æon a traitor and calls on 3 other Monicans around Bregna to get Sithandra out of the pool and hunt her down. While this happens, Æon gives baby Una back to her parents when an invading Bregnan security force attacks the home, so they flee. They escape into the subway, but one of the guards fires bullets into their car, which injures a bunch of people including Trevor. Before they can catch their breath, the train stops, so the pair break out and escape into the city. They find a place to hide where Æon takes bullets out of Trevor and puts skin patches on him to help the wounds heal. They then return to his lab to retrieve the research on Una, since it must contain the cure to infertility, but first break into a security room for weapons. The men have orders to kill the 2 on sight, but the Goodchild uses some smooth talking to the lieutenant, convincing him that they're being given by the wrong leader. Once they've taken some weapons, the pair begin heading for the lab when Æon questions Trevor who's Catherine and why he called her it. He explains that every previous generation of himself teaches his next clone that she was his wife, who he loved dearly until she was taken by the virus. He's cloned himself 7 times over the last 400 years, but for some reason has never been able to clone Æon until now. Coming up on his lab, the pair start to see pieces of burning paper, as all of Trevor's notes have been destroyed by Oren and Freya's been killed. They return outside with Æon armed with a rocket launcher, wanting to destroy the relical, while Trevor laments about not being able to ever discover the cure again. Suddenly Oren arrives with dozens of security guards, saying to his brother that he'd rather live forever than cure the problem. He admits to destroying Trevor's wife's DNA, which is why she never showed up in cloning batches until now. Some women in Bregna have even cured themselves naturally and have been getting pregnant without any experimentation, but he's been killing them as well. While the conversation's going on, the Monicans climb the towers and take aim with sniper rifles while waiting on Sithandra to give the order to fire. Æon senses her there, and when noticing her scratching at a capsule, Sithandra does the same to have a conversation with her target. She's warned about the true villain, while the handler shouts in Sithandra's ear to kill Æon, but she sides with her friend instead. Unable to get a clear shot on him, she shoots Oren in the shoulder before ordering the other Monicans to cover Æon as she flees. When Trevor gets shot yet again, Æon returns to save him and grabs 2 machine guns to eliminate all of the surrounding guards on the rooftops. Oren picks up the dropped rocket launcher, and when Sithandra lines him up for a shot, she realizes her gun's empty and he blows her off the platform. She's killed on impact as Oren takes aim at Æon, but is tackled by Trevor and attempts to shoot his own brother, but the gun's empty, getting him shot by Æon in return. He dies, leaving Trevor the ruling Goodchild once again, as he orders the guards to stand down, and Æon has one last thing to do. She scales the tower to climb inside of the balloon and begins setting bombs when the Keeper shows up to explain how she exists. When Oren secretly ordered him to destroy her DNA 400 years ago, he kept it on ice until he felt she was needed to get through to Trevor. The Keeper says that after all this time he's now ready for a rest, giving Æon the go-ahead to blow up the relical with him still inside it. It goes down above Bregna and Æon lets go just as it hits the ground, crashing into the wall and creating a large hole into the outside world. Everyone, including Æon and Trevor, only live one final life before dying to make way for the next generation so that they can hopefully do it better. The final scene shows a flashback to 400 years ago when Trevor asked Catherine if he'll ever see her again, but she just smiled and walked away. And the movie ends.